Hello all. Today we will think about the chapter 14 of the book of Joshua. From last time, today, and the next chapter, the book of Joshua keep telling us about the distribution of the land. So once they finished the wars and battles, they needed to distribute the each portion of land to each tribe and group of people of Israel. But throughout the process of distribution of the land, there is an important thing for us to remember. They distributed the land according to God's commandment. So they didn't want to make the same mistake after the battle against the city Jericho. At that time, they had someone who didn't keep the commandment of God. It was Achan, and he got a plunder after the victory over Jericho. So learning from that experience, they wanted to keep the commandment of God. So even when they won over all the wars and battles, when they distribute the land to each tribe, they did it according to God's commandment. So they didn't just give the land to each group of people. According to God's will, according to God's commandment, they distributed each portion of the land to each tribe. And today's chapter, there is one more important person to remember. Finally, Caleb appears in this chapter. Have you heard about Caleb? Yes. He was a strong warrior at the time for Israel, and then even though he got older, like 85 years old, he was still strong to protect and fight in any battle. That's what we can see in today's chapter. So as the Israelites were given each portion of land, they needed to be able to keep the land. For example, you are given the land. It means you need to be able to protect, manage the land, especially protect the land from other kingdom or nation who try to attack your land. So maybe it was given to some younger generation. However, today's chapter, Caleb came out and then asked the land to be given to him. It means he was willing to, and he was able to keep the land and protect and manage the land. So in today's chapter, Caleb is talking about his commitment for the Israelites for a long time, over 45 years. So today's chapter verses 10 and 11 say like this: "And now, as you see, the Lord has kept me alive, as he said, these 45 years since the time that the Lord spoke this word to Moses, while Israel was journeying through the wilderness, and here I am today, 85 years old." Isn't it amazing? While I was reading this part, I was reminded of many of you. So we have a lot of people in our congregation, their age of 60s, 70s, and 80s, even 90s. Yes, but you are still commit yourself to come to church, worship, and participate in church activity or ministry in many other ways. Yes, in the same way, Caleb was still willing to and able to keep the land and protect the land that God gave him at his age of 85. Then he kept saying like this: "I'm still as strong today as I was on the day that Moses sent me." It was 45 years ago, and my strength now is as my strength was then, for war and for going and coming. For war, all going and coming, I have no problem. Just give me a portion of land. I will keep it. I will protect it. I will manage it with God's wisdom. That's what Caleb was talking in today's chapter. Friends, what do you think about his loyalty? So I was reminded, each of you, while I was reading this part. Yes, we We are not getting younger, at least. We are getting older, and especially many of you are retired. However, you still commit yourself, commit your life to this church and ministry. That's important thing. That matter to the mission of God. So even today's chapter, verse 12, it is talking about the Anakim, one of the tribe in Canaan area. They were not Israelites. They might be a potential enemy against the Israelites. They were giants like Goliath. However, even Caleb had confidence to fight against them. And he said he can take care of them. What's the source of that confidence for Caleb? It was his faith and it was his loyalty to God. Friends, I'd like to say thank you for your commitment and for your strength and heart to serve God and church and the ministry. Like Caleb, the source of confidence, the source of your energy so far is from God. So I believe that God will bless your heart and God will bless each step of your life. God keeps blessing you. Let us remember that today. Thank you.